Skoda has built a fantastic reputation for delivering common sense, good value, spacious family cars. So, how does a £40,000 pure electric SUV fit into that? And that's not to mention that this test car has got some £10,000 worth of options on it, so it's over 50 grand this car. So has Skoda lost its senses, or is this new Skoda Enyaq electric SUV still filling the role of being a good value, common sense family car? Before we find out, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Car Gurus UK YouTube channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on any of our videos. So look, I don't think that this test car is going to be terribly representative of the average Enyaq that Skoda is going to sell. This is the 80, which is the bigger battery of two batteries on offer. So it's got the 82 kilowatt hour battery, and that's going to give you an official range of 333 miles. From launch, there is also a 62 kilowatt hour car, which will do 256 miles officially. But that lower spec car is available from under £35,000, which means that it is eligible for that plug-in car grant of £2,500. So you can get an Enyaq with a decent range and plenty of equipment from just over £32,000. And that makes it quite comparable in value to the Skoda Kodiaq, which is a similar size to the Enyaq and of course runs on petrol or diesel. Even this big battery Enyaq 80 actually still represents good value by comparison to rivals like the ID.4 and the Mustang Mach-E. Given the range and the standard equipment on it, I think, yeah, Skoda is definitely still offering something that represents a lot for your money. More than that, it's also really practical. Not only do you get Skoda's brilliant umbrella in the door trick, there is also a huge 585 litre boot. Not only is it a really big boot, but it's really well thought out as well. You get your nifty underfloor cable storage, which is really neat. You've got this boot floor which can be adjusted, and if you fold the seats flat, then it's a nice smooth extended load bay. The only thing I would say is that there is no 7-seat option in the Enyaq as there is in the Kodiaq, and you don't get any storage under that bonnet either. As you'd expect, there is masses of room back here. I mean, like limo-like amounts of legroom. Headroom is good too, even with the panoramic roof. There's plenty of room back here for 2 tall adults, or because you get this nice flat floor, then you get 3 kids in here fairly easily too. You also get your centre armrest, of course, and it's just a really comfy place to be. Seats are really nice, they've got loads of side support. Visibility is not too bad, it could be a bit better to the back, I have to say. Everything feels really nicely finished, and I would say you don't have to spend loads on options if you don't want to. The standard equipment is good enough that this is going to feel like more than luxurious enough to justify the £40,000 price tag. But before we go into any more detail, here are 5 things you need to know about the Skoda Enyaq. Skoda has changed the traditional trim level format for the Enyaq. Instead of choosing a trim line, you choose what battery you want, choose one of the very hipster sounding interior finishes, and then you can add various packs on top. Even the cheapest Enyaq gets automatic LED headlights, part leatherette upholstery, climate control, cruise control and parking sensors. Those options packs can be a bit of a pitfall though. For instance, heated seats, electric seat adjustment and keyless entry are all in different packs, and you can't add those items individually, so you can see how it'd be easy to spend a lot if you're not careful. This 13-inch screen is standard in every Enyaq model, and it all works quite well apart from this sliding volume control under here, which is too easy to hit by accident. But you do get wireless Apple CarPlay as standard, Android Auto and factory fit nav. When it comes to charging, the Skoda gets Type 2 and CCS ports, which are compatible with most public chargers in the UK and Europe. Standard 50 kilowatt rapid charging will take around 45 minutes to an hour for a 100-mile top-up, but for under £500 you can upgrade the charging speed and reduce that to around about 20 minutes. Most owners will charge up at home almost all of the time, and the standard 6-metre charging cable helps to make that easy. Plug into a normal 7 kilowatt home wall box, and even the big battery Enyaq will be fully charged in 13 hours. So we know what you get for your money, but what's the Skoda Enyaq like to drive? Well, you certainly don't get that kind of really aggressive punch of acceleration that you kind of come to expect from electric cars if you've driven them before. So the Enyaq will do 0 to 62 in 8.5 seconds. It's got 201 brake horsepower, and do you know what? I'm more than fine with that, because this is a big family car. It doesn't need to do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds and make all your passengers vomit. It's fine. And the way its power is delivered, I actually really like. It's quite progressive. It's still got more than enough urgency, kind of even in the mid-range, even if you're kind of accelerating from a higher speed. Everything feels quite slick and smooth and very predictable. And Actually, that kind of characterises the whole car, really. The brake regen 2 is really nice and smooth. You've got 3 levels and you can toggle through them on the steering wheel, which I really like because I think it makes it easy to use the regen almost like you would kind of downshifting in an automatic gearbox in a normal petrol or diesel car. And there's also an automatic mode, so the car will automatically sense if there's a car in front, a junction coming up, and even a speed limit, and it will automatically reduce the speed. You can turn that off, and that's actually an optional pack as well. From launch, all Skoda Enyaq models are rear-wheel drive, but four-wheel drive versions are coming, as is a hot VRS model. We've had no issues with the traction in this car. I mean, it's a dry day, but some people might still slightly worry about the rear-wheel drive factor. I have to say, I don't think you need to. I think there's plenty of traction. This car feels really nice and stable. This is not a car that I can imagine being terribly sporty. Maybe that VRS model that I just mentioned. You know, Skoda has done some really awesome VRS models, so there's potential there, but this one for sure, I think just feels like a really nice, comfy family car. I mean, 201 brakes, not that much power, and I think for most people this is going to be actually probably the sweet spot in the range, because you've got that additional range that the rear-wheel drive is going to bring. Four-wheel drive's always going to cost you something in terms of the range, and it's going to be the cheaper model too. So unless you're really worried about winter conditions or you've got sort of scruffy country roads that you do, then I think this might be the better option. This car has got the adaptive dampers on it, which are an option, £785. I suspect most people will go for it. I don't think you should go for the 21-inch alloys that are fitted to this test car, which are, I mean, frankly, they're a bit much, aren't they? It comes with 19s as standard, and I suspect they will ride a little better. That's not to say that this rides badly, I have to say. It's got quite a bit of body movement. It sort of wallows about and it pitches a bit, but for all that, actually the dampening's pretty good and it stays quite smooth over most road surfaces. Driving range is still one of the most critical factors for most people buying an electric car, and we've seen a real world range of around about 230 to 240 miles a day in fairly cold conditions. We'd expect to see around about 280 miles or more in warmer weather, but we would expect a little more of the Skoda given its official range of 333 miles. Yes, the Enyaq can be expensive, but be sensible about the options, and this is a fantastic value car. In fact, I'd go so far as to say this is going to set a new benchmark for electric family cars, even over and above those kind of household names now, like the Kia e-Niro, which has been our favourite electric car in this class for a long time. After all, this is bigger, it's more practical, it's still lovely to drive, stuffed full of tech, and it's just a really good thing. So yes, maybe monthly prices could be a touch lower, so you're looking at about £400 and up for the small battery, about £500 and up for the Enyaq 80 that we have here. Even so, this is the best electric family car out there. Head to cargurus.co.uk for a whole host of fantastic used cars from top-rated dealers.